Hi. I really hope you're feeling healthy and optimistic and you're really taking care of yourself during these difficult times. Look, there's something that I observed recently and I really want to tell you about it because I think it's important for you to know. There is a famous saying or wisdom that says, too much of anything is bad for you. And my friend, this includes too much information. If you're someone like me or many people around, you're probably watching all the news, you're reading all the articles, you're basically keeping up to date with what is going on concerning coronavirus. And that's all good. We need to stay informed. But if you are consuming this kind of very negative, catastrophic information few times a day, please watch out. You could get yourself in trouble. You could literally contribute to making yourself feel sick. Look, I'm going to tell you something that happened to me last Wednesday. Last week, I overdid it with the news. And I started to feel very concerned, very worried. And on Wednesday, I socialized with other people. I went for a walk with a bunch of friends. And one of our friends turned up, coughing, sneezing, and I thought, what are you doing in here? Who knows what you have? And I kept telling him, stay away, because you're going to spread a virus and maybe you've got a coronavirus, and just keep away. So I was quite worried about this encounter, and I gave him a few moral lessons. So anyway, 2 days later, on Friday, I woke up in the morning and I was not feeling well. I was sneezing, I was coughing, and I was just not my usual self. I didn't have the energy that I normally have. And of course, I got worried because I met this person on Wednesday and I thought, God, this is bad. But I started to work and I forgot all about it until the moment that I received another one of these, clever articles about coronavirus and about all the symptoms that we should be watching out for. And as I was reading through the article, I found myself checking the boxes. Dry cough. Oh, I have dry cough. Body pain. Oh, my shoulder hurts and I've got a bit of a pain in my back. And now that I think about it, I have a headache. And I was just checking the boxes and finding the pain in myself. And it was as if it was intensifying by the minute. So my friend, I got into quite a state. Really, I got very anxious, almost panicky, until I really had to kick my butt and get myself back to normal, because at that time I really concluded that it's clear I have the coronavirus. And so to calm my nerves, I used all the techniques that I know, and yes, I managed. I got back to my normal self and I started to feel well again. But this episode was a very powerful reminder for me. Reminder of the power of our mind and of how our way of thinking can get us into trouble. You all know the placebo effect, right? But there is something else. There is an effect called nocebo. So with the placebo effect in a medical context, imagine that you're receiving a treatment. If you have positive expectations regarding your treatment, then the chances are that the treatment will be very beneficial for you. However, if you have negative expectations about the treatment that you're receiving, the chances are it will be negative for you. That's the nocebo, placebo and nocebo. I'm going to give you an example. My mom is perfect to illustrate this on. My mom, she would never board a bus without taking an anti-nausea pill, right? Because for her, taking the pill means or equals she's not gonna get sick on the bus. It's clear, right? So imagine if I replaced her anti-nausea pill with a vitamin C without telling her anything. She would take the pill, still thinking that is her anti-nausea pill, and she would still get the benefits of the anti-nausea pill, even though it was a vitamin C, because of the placebo effect. With the nocebo effect, the story could go like this. Again, my mom. She would never take a medicament without first studying the instruction leaflet. And guess what she focuses on? On the side effects. Yeah, so she goes through the side effects, then she takes the medicament, and guess what? She gets these side effects. And then she calls me, Alena, I knew it. And my response is, I knew it too. So anyway, there is a lot of research into the placebo and nocebo effect, and I absolutely encourage you to check it because I think it's very relevant to the situation that we're in. The research on the nocebo and placebo confirms that they cause measurable changes in the body. And they can make us feel all range of symptoms, which is interesting, isn't it? So I have the nocebo effect in my mind very much these days because look, we are submerged in this negativity. We face so much fear and we feel the fear inside. We have negative expectations, and I believe that this has got a major detrimental effect on our health. It weakens our immune system, and we are actually contributing to feeling sick. What we need to remind ourselves of is that the mind is extremely powerful. The mind can be your ally, but it can also be your biggest enemy if you let it. It's very important that we keep our mind in check these days, because otherwise our negative way of thinking, the amount of negative thoughts in our head could just spiral out of our control, making us feel sick. I'd love to conclude with 3 tips. The first tip is feed yourself with the positive and control your exposure to the negative. In fact, my own personal recipe is 2 doses of good news for each dose of negative news. You wouldn't believe, can't even speak, you wouldn't believe the amount of comedy shows that I'm watching these days because that helps me feel sane. Tip number 2. Make yourself useful rather than worrying about things that you can't control. Just keep yourself in action, very important. And 3, if you find yourself in that anxious moment, in that panicky state, like I did last week, please catch yourself in that moment and stop. And what you can do, if you manage to catch yourself, then start focus on your breathing. The chances are that your breathing will be very shallow, it will be over here, and it will be very fast. So your mission is to calm down your breathing. You need to start breathing very deeply. Look, there is a video that I published, I think sometime last year, in relation to feeling anxious in public speaking scenarios. Look, the same techniques can really apply in this context. Yeah, slowing down our breathing can help us with any kind of anxiety or panic attacks. What can also help is you just need to catch yourself in that moment and stop doing what you're doing. Stop thinking what you're doing. Move, change your physicality, go for a walk, call someone, just do something different. Don't be stuck in that anxious moment, yeah, because you're getting into that negative thought spiral, yeah, and that's not what you want. So to sum up, feed yourself with the positive. Second, make yourself useful rather than worrying about something that you can't control. And third, if you get yourself into that moment, just use these techniques to keep your nerves or to calm your nerves down. And remember, too much of anything is bad for you. Don't indulge on the negative. Don't overconsume it. Feed your mind with something positive, because if you do so, your mind will help you stay healthy and sane. So, good luck. We're all in this together.